In a quaint downtown bar in Lexington, Kentucky, a drag queen performs to Dolly Parton's Jolene atop a makeshift stage comprised of two pool tables pushed together. Her name is Uma Jules, the reigning Empress of the Imperial Court of Kentucky. Tonight, she and the court are raising money for a local charity that helps LGBTQ plus folks find the resources they need. The court's motto is "From the heart, through the court, for the community."
So if you need to take a leak, that's where you go. You'll have to push your way through the cans of PBR that are standing on the altar. All right. I'm going to start this show.
I met Uma a few months prior to this event at her crowning ceremony, so to shadow her this evening and learn her story was a true honor.
Push your way through the cans of PBR that are standing on the altar.
I brush it off when I'm getting close to being done because that's just what I was taught to do.
So who is kind of like, is there like a mentor that you have towards makeup or?
My drag mother officially is Ariane Descartes. She lives in Ohio right now. She mentored me when I first started. And she's a crazy person. She also mentored Jean.
Oh yeah?
And she molested Georgia.
Oh.
She's a great molester. I believe it's been 6 years. Next month, I think it will be 6 years.
6 years entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah. So what keeps you with it?
You know, I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever done anything anywhere near this long and still enjoyed it. But this is the one thing that I actually enjoy.
Okay.
Have not grown tired of it. Even though I'm doing it way too much. Like sometimes 6 or 7 times a week. I moved here in 2010. I was burnt out on customer service. I had been working customer service in retail and in call centers, and I knew I absolutely could not do that anymore.
Act one. I would say.
It's funny because people think I'm like very much a people person because I'm an entertainer, but I'm really not. I don't really enjoy people at all. Not at all. I am just really not a people person.
How long have you been with the Imperial Court?
I have been with the Imperial Court probably 4 or 5 years. I started with the court pretty soon after I started drag.
Okay.
I felt like it was important after I started being embraced by the Lexington community to give back a little. And that's why I started volunteering with the court, is because not only did I want to become more involved in volunteering, but also because I wanted to give back to the people that supported me.
I love that.
Hello, Miss Matt. Jada, this is Jonathan.
Hi. So then tell me a little bit about what the Imperial Court does.
So the Imperial Court is a charity organization.
Okay.
We are fundraisers, basically.
Okay.
We raise money for other charities here in the area that don't have the ability to raise funds. So we put on drag shows, we put on social events, and we raise money for charities that don't have the ability to raise money for themselves.
Okay. What's some of the favorite charities you've raised money for?
So we have 6 main charities.
Oh, okay.
The main ones are Just Fund Kentucky.
Okay.
Which is like a grant system for LGBTQ
Yep. They're a
causes.
partial funder of this project.
Yes, there you go.
Yes.
Also AIDS Volunteers of Kentucky.
Okay, yep, great organization.
Yes, we have, let's see, I'm going on like 4 hours of sleep. Okay, let's see. We also have Arbor Youth Services. That's our newest organization.
Okay.
They provide shelter for homeless youth.
Love that.
Mostly queer youth. We have the Pride Community Services Organization,
Okay.
which provides many services, but the biggest function is the Pride Festival that's put on every year here in Lexington.
Love it.
So they are mostly for that. We have Movable Feast, which
That ain't gonna work either.
basically delivers meals to those in hospice and those living with HIV/AIDS.
And what's one of like maybe your favorite events that you've done to raise money?
Tonight is actually going to be really fun.
Really? Yeah, yeah.
I'm really excited about Sunday because Sunday we're putting on a chili potluck.
Ooh.
And I don't have to get in drag, so I'm super
I was gonna say, I was like, how does chili and drag work?
It's a lot of fun to travel to different courts and
That's sweet.
Lexington Fairness. That is our 6th
Got it.
one.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So then your reign is for a year. When were you? From when to when?
June to June.
Okay.
So we're getting close to halfway.
Mm-hmm.
I am super excited to be done.
It's a lot of work, I'm sure.
It is a lot of work.
Are you recording? Yeah. Are we loud, girl?
You're all right.
You can't even hear nothing.
Girl, it's a dressing room.
Right.
But Uma got me pregnant.
Bitch, I told you to wait until the results on Mari.
Use the child's father.
You are not the father.
I told you.
That's when you're supposed to cry, girl. That's when you're supposed to cry.
So then you have a show here later tonight.
She look like
And what's that?
Yes.
Just a regular.
Just
like
a regular bar complex show. That's we do shows here every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, starting at 10:30. And I'm on cast here as well as being Empress and working my boy job throughout the week. So
Which is.
I work for the state, and we're implementing a new ID system in Kentucky, and I'm helping implement that.
Oh, how cool. Cool.
So exciting, new, challenging, fun. I love it.
Do your colleagues know that you're in drag?
Oh no.
No.
Some of them do, but it's not something I discuss at work because I've had very bad experiences in the past
Okay.
when discussing drag in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to talk about that?
If you want, yeah,
So
sure.
when I worked I worked for a couple different departments.
With my blue hair. You like my muff? Is my muff warm?
The first department I worked for was in the College of Dentistry,
My muff's
Okay.
and we had some problems with homophobia, and I filed a complaint with Human Resources. It was a big ordeal, and I was kind of pushed out. So I found a different job in a different department, and it became a very big problem that I was gay. The head surgeon, a lot of the other surgeons that worked in the department no longer wanted any kind of contact with me and didn't want their patients to have any contact with me. Since I was the surgery scheduler for the department,
That was kind of, yeah.
difficult. So it was a big mess, and I ended up quitting there also and getting a different job. But my experience was that
And I got another booking at Wall Street.
some people were accepting of drag, most people were not. Most people were accepting of my being gay, but some people were not.
Yeah. I feel you there.
Well, it's not a happy story, that's
Okay.
for sure.
But a lot of times they're not.
She was born this way.
I was born this gay. I was always very effeminate, but I was also raised Catholic, and so that was not tolerated very well. I tried really hard not to be girly, but I couldn't help it. It's just who I was. So my coming out was actually quite a shock to my parents. I don't know why, but it was. I wrote my mother a letter.
Okay, that's what I did with my dad.
Yeah. I figured of my parents, my mother would take it better. She took it okay. She said it was fine. That she would talk to my father that evening, even though I didn't really want her to, but she insisted that she had to speak to my father about it. So they spoke. I was quite relieved because my mother took it so well. I was actually quite nervous that my father would harm me physically. He didn't. But he turned my mother against me. My mother went from being okay with it to not being okay with it. And the following day, I had talks with both my parents independently about how I was doing the devil's work, how evil I was, how disappointed they were, how surprised,
I just had a review thing. What review thing?
how
Is there a TA
shocked they were, surprised, disappointed, etc.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to make the drive to Cincinnati.
Get ready for a life of loneliness and heartache. That was pretty much the message.
And so how did you feel?
Well, of course that hurts. That was terrible.
How old were you?
I was quite old. I was 23, I think.
How you doing, honey?
Y'all can leave if you want to, if you need to. I
Checking on you. How you doing?
I'm almost done with my face. And then I'll just throw on a body, and I'm just wearing a wife beater and some jean shorts. Yeehaw.
Is that what these days do, sir?
Oh yeah, girl. Sorry.
I know you fine. I just don't see how you gonna get in them, but okay. Are you wearing without pants?
Fuck you, bitch.
Bitch, I'm just trying to be a sister to you. Damn! Why you do that? I just thought that was part of the gig. Leave my halfway unbuttoned.
Maybe I will.
You know that's tight.
I mean, in the 90s they did it.
Girl, they still do it.
Well, most of these people in Eastern Kentucky are living in the 60s still.
Okay.
Well, I grew up in St. Louis. When I was in middle school, our parents moved us to rural Missouri, about an hour west of St. Louis.
These are not like
Yeah.
real
I
nails.
want you to scratch a bitch from 10 miles away.
So,
God, would really not be able to wipe nothing. Do
I thought I knew what misery was in Catholic grade school. I was incorrect.
I mean, they're going down a little bit now.
I was about to get an education in misery.
So this is middle school at this time. Which are the hardest years is anyway.
Absolutely. So middle school and high school
No.
were not pleasant for me.
She said no.
I can only imagine.
I'm talking to somebody.
The new kid in school and the fairy.
What were some of the things you'd hear from the other kids?
Oh God.
What's his name?
Anything you can imagine. Faggots, of course. Middle school was, and high school were actually quite rough.
Yes, he
I was not used to physical abuse. And
She just throw that pussy in a circle.
that was an awakening.
What's his name?
Physical
Oh, you ain't
abuse,
said name yet.
mental abuse, sexual abuse on a pretty much daily basis.
So you can't say his name because y'all don't have a label?
I mean,
That was middle school and high
I don't know
school.
what it is.
And that's why it took me into my late 20s to accept that I was gay. Because middle school and high school were so terrible. Grade school was also not fun.
I'm sure he does.
So it took me a while to accept my homosexuality.
And what was one of the moments where you accepted it for yourself?
Well,
All that matters.
I realized that I had been watching quite a bit of gay porn recently, and I said to myself,
That he definitely does not
I think
know
it's
me.
time to come to terms with you being gay, sir. I think it's time. And so I did. I began the process of accepting it.
And what was that process like?
It was actually pretty easy, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It was a very dark time in my life. It was very suicidal and lots of ugliness, lots of self-hatred and self-loathing because of all of my upbringing as a Catholic, and
Well, I
my
also
parents,
bought my King Quaalude shirt for Uma.
of course, would not be accepting. I knew that my parents would not accept it. So, just realizing or trying to process being gay and then being on my own entirely because I thought my parents would abandon me.
My tennis shoes.
I mean, coming out is a very scary thing in general, and I tried to put a positive spin on it to myself, and that I
She
was
used to wear them up and down the road all the time.
becoming more
You
self-aware
obviously have not been to the dry clean trailer
and
park.
like
No, ma'am.
more accepting of
We all had our own
myself,
tape on the
more
table.
So was I.
I was all the way up.
I was sharing with my parents and my friends and family a part of me that I hadn't shared with them in the past. So I was trying to think of myself as being more honest and open and free. And
Even if the
My
game
friend works
was
there, and he tripped.
they didn't take it like that. So it was a long process. I think so. I started the self-acceptance when I was probably about 21, somewhere around there, and then 23 I came out to my parents after I'd come out to my sister and some friends.
Yeah, so you have another one of those.
After my parents and that terrible reaction, I kind of
Can I have one of those?
told very few people after that for quite some time. Then I moved away from St. Louis area to Lexington to get kind of a fresh start,
I got some big old aerial.
go back to school, because also at this time I had just graduated college, and working in the real world was not at all what I had expected. I had graduated with fine arts degrees and film degrees, and I was working in a factory, 12-hour night shifts, and also then after that customer service at a call center.
How long I do it by myself?
Yeah, girl, they had a party.
Girl, I would have never had nobody else at that.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
I ain't mad at you for that.
Girl, ain't nobody they got no teeth in their head. Oh, girl, this is just absolutely vengeful.
Not now. They done left.
Okay.
Joe already left.
Nah, she's not there.
So does this help set the makeup?
All right, Jay. You got everything?
Okay, so
I got
Uma
setting
Jules,
spray.
where does that come from?
TV from 1982.
So, Uma Jules. Uma from Uma Thurman.
Yes.
Uma was always my favorite actress and somebody I idolized. And Jules, because Jewel was my favorite singer.
Yes, come through with a Jewel.
Right.
Living in her
Precious.
car.
And you put an S on the end and it makes it kind of funny and campy.
Yeah.
Because it's like you get kicked in the nuts, like, ooh, my Jules.
I like Jack.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Big dick. Because Derek started.
I thought moving away from home would be a fresh start in addition to going back to school at UK. That's why I came to UK, is to go back to school for free.
Mr. loves to be
Ah.
fisted. Is
And obviously that didn't work out, so
I like romantic.
here I am, a goddamn drag
I
queen.
right now just like this, with this arm fisted. I got my fist.
So where are you in your life now then?
Oh wait, hold on.
Well-
Wait, even better.
I want to finish being an Empress,
It's a Guns N' Roses shirt.
finish drag until I
Hold on,
become
I'm ready.
sick of it, which I don't know how long that'll be. I don't know. Sometimes I am sick of it. Usually I'm not, but sometimes I am. So when it starts to not be very much fun anymore, is when I'll probably quit drag. When I quit drag, I'll probably move to a warmer climate.
No, actually, these are from
I'm tired of winter.
Mm-hmm.
further.
I am 34 years old. Feel it every second of it.
I feel you there. I turned 36 in less than a month. And,
All right.
or no, a month
36.
tomorrow. A month tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, all right. She's doing good.
Right,
She's
right.
doing big things.
But accurate.
Okay, so what's your favorite part about drag versus the least favorite?
I don't like nails. I fucking
Okay.
hate nails.
Okay.
I hate nails. My favorite part is performing. I love
Yes.
performing.
Yes.
Makeup, not a huge fan of makeup. Not very good at makeup.
I'm so bad at it. And I went to school for theater, took classes, and I'm horrible at it.
I did take a makeup class, but it was not makeup. It was like bruises and cuts. And
Yeah, right. Like stage effect
Monsters,
makeup. Yeah.
Oh, so then that explains a lot.
Kabam, bitch! Kabam! Monster!
Are you gonna do piggy tails?
Yes. I'm trying to braid backwards.
Okay. So I'm walking down Main Street here in Lexington, Kentucky. You can see the big Kentucky Theater here. Super vintage and cute. I think it's got an organ in there. Anyway, there are the ladies in front of me. Uma Jules, whom I've been chatting with all night. Just got ready. They've got a redneck, hillbilly, raucous kind of show tonight. A charity show. And we're headed over to Crossings. They got ready over here at the big dressing room at the bar complex. But their first charity show is over here at Crossings. Yeah, so we're headed over there. And then afterwards we'll come back to the bar for a regular Friday night gig. Okay. As her adoring fans approach the stage, Uma smiles and graciously accepts their tips for charity before rushing back to the bar complex to change for her regular weekly gig hosting the drag show there.
Hold up the trailer, it's parked out back. So if you need to take a leak, that's where you go. You'll have to push your way through the cans of PBR that are scattered all